Yeah.
Jacinta thina simvuselwe nguThixo ngeli xesha linje. Clear to generation. Hayi nguMoses of our time. I-March and March ithi kwi-Department of Higher Education kwi-Portfolio Committee ukuthi mabasuse ama-foreigner aqashiweyo kwi-Department of Education. Njengoba kusithiwa manitsi ewusu nakwezinye nekwezinye. Because indlela ayeqashwe ngayo i-Constitution yase-South Africa maybe yayingezo skill. Abantu bakuthi bengaphangeli behleli begcamelela ngabe ne-qualifications kuze umuntu ongazange alwele avele ubunzima ngokufumana ilizwe azafika ngeno kwanyoka. Hayi sali jonga, if ufuna kuyiwe estratweni for nale ndipha estratweni bazophangela abantu base-South Africa. Jacinta, we are behind you, my dear. We are, as South Africans, as Tandelizwe, we behind you.
Oh, did you think I was done? No, bro. I still have some more shit to say. There was a live I did yesterday where I broke this down, but honestly, it's at the back of my mind. I feel like I have to make a video about it too. If you're just catching up, this is Jacinta. She's one of the leading voices in all this xenophobic stuff that's happening in South Africa. She's the head of, or the leader of the March and March protest. Now, this video has nothing to do with Jacinta specifically, but a narrative that I see going on around. That particular narrative is South Africans saying things like, you guys did not fight for your country, go back to your country and leave our country alone. When, mind you, a lot of these African countries that did not fight for their country did help you fight for your country when you needed the help. Now, I don't know the law of other countries or other African countries, so I won't speak for them, but I do know the law of Nigeria. I'm Nigerian living in Nigeria. Have you ever heard of the Southern Africa Relief Fund? It was also called the Mandela Tax, and this was when Nigeria and Nigerians basically crowdfunded to support victims of the apartheid regime in South Africa, contributing as much as $3.7 million initially and then $10.5 million, by the next year. And this was in the 1970s. Do you know how much money that is now when you convert? Quick maths, that's about 1.5 billion rand as of today. Yes, I sharply went to check to now come back and tell you that. Let's not even talk about Nigeria's anti-apartheid foreign policy or the amount of support that was given to groups like the African National Congress during things like Soweto Uprising or even after that. Or the fact that Nelson Mandela on several occasions publicly thanked Nigeria for the support that it lended against apartheid. You see the South African society deteriorate to the point where African foreigners who are legally there are being targeted because of the crimes of a very minute or minor, small space of people that are committing crimes that are also African foreigners. But the fact that they say that African foreigners are taking up all the land or taking up ownership of the country, meanwhile 95% of South Africa belongs to South Africans themselves. Only 5% of that belongs to foreigners, which includes not just African foreigners but other foreigners as well. Mind you, 50% of that 95% is just black South Africans. Most of that is white South Africans. Or the fact that they said that Nigerians specifically are taking all their women. And honestly, bro, if they are taking your shorties, it sounds like a skill issue to me. And like, don't the shorties have the rights and the mindset to choose who they want to be with? Like, why do you have to get angry and attack people over that? To see the South African society deteriorate to the point where the people of these African countries that were instrumental to the fight against apartheid when it was going on be told things like, go back to your country, your useless country, leave our country alone, is very disappointing. And also hypocritical, because when shit was going on in your own place, these countries, they held you down. Now you spin the block and you treat those people of these African countries like this is not good. Though. If you feel like you need to pressure anybody specifically, pressure your government. Don't you have immigration services? Let them crack down on the illegal immigrants. It's not up to you to start attacking legal immigrants and then doing the things that we see happening online. At this point, I think I've gotten it off my chest. But then again, don't take me as the voice for this pay. I'm just a guy with some thoughts and some feelings that I just decided to air. The question I now have is, what do you think and what do you feel about all that's going on in South Africa?
I just want to understand to all the South Africans that are fighting for illegal immigrants that are in South Africa, and especially the incident that happened in Kukombo. If Operation Tutula don't claim to be xenophobic, and then now they they make it like they are fighting for the jobs that they are taken by the illegal immigrants in South Africa. Then I want to understand, the man that owned a land in Eastern Cape was not legal because they fought against him because he's a black man in Nigeria owning a land in South Africa. Then why it was not the problem when we found out here in South Africa there are places that are privately owned, that no black person that is allowed, like Kleinfontein and Oranje. We didn't fight over these places because these places are actually not owned by the South Africans, but now we tend to be like fighting over what was happening in Kukuma because a black man from Nigeria is owning a land in South Africa. Now we want to start fighting them because of it's a black person. If we don't like people who own land that South Africans are not allowed to enter, we should have fought over Oranje and Kleinfontein because they say they preserve African culture. And then now Nigerian men are preserving their culture in South Africa. That was not a problem. And there are a lot of things that people should be fighting for in South Africa, more than illegal immigration, especially in the province of the Eastern Cape. And then there's a huge unemployment. There are schools that are unbuilt and unfixed, especially there are water crisis. But we saw that as a problem that we should be going to protest for. I just want to understand because Operation Tutula, they claim to be not xenophobic, but fighting for illegal immigrants that are taking jobs over in South Africans. But the man in Nigeria is not illegal. Thank you.
South Africans are one of the highest migrants in Africa. The South Africans are one of the highest migrants. I mean, people who have moved to other countries. If you look at the census of other countries, they say South Africans are more than 250,000 in the UK. They talk less of other countries like Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada. So if they should start saying that these South Africans who are living in other people's country, they should go back to their country, how would you guys feel when you guys are looting and pushing people out of their own properties which they have rented in South Africa to do business, and they are paying taxes to your government, still encouraging your economy, still making your economy to boom? I don't think that other Africans should be the problem in South Africa, but the problem in South Africa is that you guys have to check and understand that the white people who are in your country are the problem, not other black people from other countries. Yes.
Guys, yabona le ndama foreigner i1 and number 1 wayo. Envisa kabuhlungu ubona iforeign exsend xa ibhek lesemsebenzini. Leyo kwenza umsebenzi kunokwenziwa yiSouth African. Ibe yiSouth African le ivotayo ihlele endlini edlala ifone, not because yonqena but because the system yase South Africa ibenza landa abantu base South Africa. Yabona guys, ngifuna ukuba kubantu base Cape Town, ku JP Smith lo, uMMC we Community Safety and Security. Sekeqalile ba ahead of us. Benthe guys siyabaza belungu banjani. Abafuna uyiluza isidima seCape Town, but iCape Town is one of the best cities, is recognized as one of the best cities in the world. That's why behamba phambili ngoku bese be-identify no-identify i-undocumented foreign nationals because ba-protect isidima sabo. Babe umuntu wase-South Africa yena bengakhange bamprotecta kuphangela ama-foreign. Ilakho ke guys, ngicela niyazi ba iyeza. And okwesibini apha kusekhayelitsha sebesazi ba kuna 90,000 already. That is white people for you, but we are coming.